Hello and welcome to the MERN Stack Front to Back course. So if you're interested in building full stack JavaScript applications, then you're in the right place. This is a very hands-on project-based course that will teach you how to build a back-end API with Node and Express and a front end with React and Redux and how to put it all together. And we're going to build a small social network for developers called the Dev Connector. So who is this course for? It's basically for anyone that wants to learn how to build full stack web applications with the MERN stack. And I'm not talking about some to-do list or anything like that. We're going to build a pretty extensive API with authentication and then a front end with state management, multiple reducers, and a ton of UI components. Now, I wouldn't say this course is advanced, but I definitely wouldn't say it's a beginner's course, so you should at least know the basics of Express and React. Okay, if you don't, I would at least suggest watching my YouTube crash courses first. This also isn't a course where I'll talk too much about theory and show you diagrams and stuff like that. It's a very hands-on course, and we'll be dealing with one pretty large real-life project, and I'll explain things as we move along. All right, so I'll go over the entire project in the next video, but just to give you the gist of it, it's a small social network. It's for developers. It's called the Dev Connector, and users can register. They can create a pretty extensive profile with many fields, including education and job experience. You can even enter your GitHub username, and we'll interact with the GitHub API to pull in the latest 5 repos in your account. We'll also have forum posts, so users can create posts, they can comment on them, they can also like and unlike them. The theme is a custom HTML CSS theme that I created, so I'll be including that in the project files, and I tried to make it very simple, so there's very minimal HTML and CSS. So let's look at some of the technologies that you'll be working with and learning in this course. So we'll be using VS Code for our text editor, along with a few extensions that I'll show you. Everything is modern JavaScript, so ES6+, arrow functions, destructuring, promises, all that stuff. We'll be using async await on both the front end and the back end. We'll be using strictly functional components with React hooks on the client. We'll be using Redux for state management along with the Redux dev tools. For authentication, we're going to be using JWT or JSON Web Tokens, and we'll build some custom middleware to handle that. We'll also be using Postman to make requests to our API to test our endpoints. We'll be using MongoDB for our database with MongoDB Atlas, which allows us to host it in the cloud. And we'll be using Mongoose as a database abstraction layer. And then for our password encryption, we'll use bcrypt. And then finally, we're going to deploy to Heroku using Git. So these are some of the technologies that you can